Hey, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jaden Sormani, and today we're going to be doing a 2018 mock redraft. This is where I'm going to go back to the 2018 NFL draft and redraft in the order it was before the draft night and see what kind of prospects go where, who makes what kind of jumps, and who's ending up on what teams, how it would be. It's just a fantasy, so there's no realism in this. It's just for fun, just a little fun video to take a little gap between the playoff games. Today, as I'm recording this, we had the Titans beating the Patriots at home, and we also had the Texans beating the Bills in overtime, which was just a crazy game. So definitely some cool games. We got the NFC tomorrow, which is going to be some amazing games as well. Can't wait to watch those. But this could be between the halftime, between the games, whatever you want to do. But thank you so much for clicking on this video as well. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. We're about 3 subscribers away as I'm making this video of hitting 100. We're also hitting huge numbers on my mock drafts for the Dolphins and the full mock draft, but not too much love on the quarterback video yet. I did some rankings on the college quarterbacks, so go ahead and check that out after you finish this video up and go see what quarterbacks are ranked where and how I'm seeing the quarterbacks for this upcoming draft as of right now. But like I said, this is going to be a redraft of the 2018 draft. This is all speculation. It's all my opinion. There's going to be players that could have went higher, could have went lower. There's players that might not be in this draft because I only have the first round. So let me know which guys I missed out on. Let me know where you think other guys should go, who should have been where. And before I start this as well, I want to make sure to tell you this is the draft order before draft night. There were some trades on draft night that happened, and in reality, you can't predict those, and there's no way that you could put that in here because people were trading up or trading down for certain players. So we don't have any of those in. This is the draft order as we went into the draft night. So without further ado, we're going to go in. We're going to try and keep this short and kind of get through it, but we're going to have some fun with this one. So let me know what you guys think. With the first overall pick, we got the Cleveland Browns, and they're going to be selecting Lamar Jackson. He was originally taken 32nd by the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to be the MVP this year. He has all the critics shutting up about what his arm talent is. He's shown so much growth in that strength of his now, where he's been able to throw the ball accurately and throw the ball well as be one of the best runners in the NFL, including all the running backs. Has amazing milestones, beat Michael Vick's record, which is just crazy. He's just been having an amazing year, amazing second year. He had a great first year as well. Doesn't turn the ball over much. He's made the Ravens the 1 seed. They're going to be going against the Titans next week, and I can't wait to see him in the playoffs. So Lamar Jackson is now going to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns in this fantasy world. So Cleveland now, instead of having Baker Mayfield back there, they have the future MVP in Lamar Jackson. At pick 2, I have the Giants staying with Saquon Barkley. He originally went here as well. I think it's just he has shown that he is one of the best running backs in the league. He had an injury this year, which kind of just shook him up. Kind of took his season out of the ordinary. But last year, Pro Bowler, Rookie of the Year. I mean, we saw what Saquon Barkley was, and I don't think the Giants have any regrets taking this man here. His talent is one of the best in the league, not only just in this draft class. So I don't see the Giants taking anyone else here because at the time they did need a running back. They were not getting the production from Wayne Gallman and Shane Vereen at the time. So Saquon Barkley is going to stay going to the Giants at number 2. At pick 3, we do have a switch here as well in the quarterback position as Josh Allen's going to jump up to the 3rd overall pick to the New York Jets. He was originally taken 7th to the Bills. Josh Allen has just had so much growth from his past 2 years. Sometimes he makes the inaccurate throws, but if you saw him today in the playoff game, he was just a nightmare against the Texans. Once they started getting through in the second half, I mean, he was hard to get some good throws off. He was still making amazing plays on his feet and in the air. Everyone knew about his arm strength. Not everyone knew about his dual threat ability, and he's really shown that since getting into the league. The Jets would not have passed up on Josh Allen if they knew what he would be compared to Sam Darnold. Darnold's still a great player, but Josh Allen's got him beat, so Josh Allen's going 3rd overall in this draft. Now moving on to 4th overall, we're giving the Browns a corner because they still needed one at the time, and we're giving them Minkah Fitzpatrick, a Pro Bowler this year. I'm pretty sure he was an All-Pro as well at the safety position, but he can play corner and safety. We saw him play both in Miami. He does prefer to play that safety role, though, so that's what he's been playing in Pittsburgh, and he has been amazing at it. He has been one of the best safeties in the NFL. He's got the All-Pro honors. He's got the Pro Bowl. He's just had such a great sophomore year, and he's climbed up to be one of the top safeties in the league already in just a second year. He was originally taken 11 to the Dolphins and that falling out to Pittsburgh. But in this universe, he's going to be in Cleveland to stay. No Pittsburgh and no Miami. They're going to be missing out on him, and they're going to be seeing him a bunch in that conference. But the Browns right now have Lamar Jackson and Minkah Fitzpatrick, and that's a big upgrade from Baker and Denzel Ward, who are great players as well. But Lamar Jackson and Minkah is a huge upgrade. At pick 5, Darius Leonard comes from the second round into the top 5 as he's going to be going to the Broncos. Originally, they took Bradley Chubb here, but Darius Leonard going 36 to the Colts was a blessing in disguise. He won Rookie of the Year last year. He's one of the Pro Bowlers this year. Again, 2-time Pro Bowler. Oh, no, he missed out on the Pro Bowl last year, I'm pretty sure. He might have won it as an alternate, but I remember that was a big scandal. A lot of people think Vander Esch is a better talent. I've seen that a lot, and I understand what they say, but Darius Leonard is just such a monster. He was on the outside last year at linebacker, and he had such a great year, and they moved him to inside linebacker, and he's been playing just as well. Darius Leonard's just a weapon on the defensive side, and to have him there with Von Miller would just be huge. So the Broncos are going ahead and taking another edge/linebacker, but instead of Chubb, it's going to be Darius Leonard. Now at pick 6, Quinton Nelson, the offensive guard out of Notre Dame, is staying at 6 to the Colts. He probably could have went higher. He could have been a top 3 pick in this draft. The teams just at that position needed the players that they got, but Quinton Nelson's staying with the Colts. I mean, he has been just an amazing player, Pro Bowler, All-Pro. If offensive lineman had stats, he would have been Rookie of the Year last year over Saquon. Even though Saquon had an amazing year, Quinton Nelson is just such an impact player, and the Colts love him. He's staying there at 6. Now we move on to 7th overall, a guy who's been pretty much injured most of the season, but his first year tells us all we need to know about this guy, Derron James, who just should have never fallen all the way down to 17 to the Chargers. He's going to be going to join a Buccaneers secondary that's just been struggling for years and years. They've never been able to hit on somebody in the draft. Well, they're going to hit on somebody here, as Derron James was a Pro Bowler his first year and was just an amazing player. He ranged the field over from left to right, I mean, top to bottom. He was everywhere on the defensive side for the Chargers last year, and he made that team so much better. He's going to make the Bucs a lot better. Now move on to 8th overall, and a guy who really came into it this second year. He was pretty good his rookie year, but his second year has been just amazing on one of the top defenses in the NFL right now. Tremayne Edmonds, he is just a force in the middle. Originally taken 16th to the Bills. He's going to jump up to 8th overall. They originally took Roquan Smith here, and Roquan is a great player, but I think Edmonds just hasn't beat at the moment. I think Edmonds has just been such an impact player for this Bills defense, and it's such a young defense, but yet they've been playing so well, made it one of the top perennial defenses in the league, and they've shown it on week in, week out. Unfortunately, they did have that first-round exit today to Houston, but Tremayne Edmonds is one of the best linebackers, young linebackers that we have in the league, and he's going to be joining the Bears now over Roquan Smith to make that Bears defense even scarier. Now we move on to the 49ers, and they're going to be taking Jaire Alexander. Originally went 18th to the Packers. He's been one of the best corners in the league this year. He showed a lot of great flashes last year, and he's been even better than he was this year. I think that the 49ers could have went a bunch of different ways. They took an offensive tackle in Mike McGlinchey here, but Jaire is just too good of a prospect to not take here. You can fix the offensive line problem later in the second round and stuff, but Jaire Alexander is just somebody you couldn't miss on. Imagine having Jaire learn from Richard Sherman. I mean, that secondary would be amazing. Him and Witherspoon would be great when Richard Sherman ends up finding his way out, but that secondary would not have – this defense would have just been levels and levels above what they already are. Taking 10th overall, not the Las Vegas Raiders yet, but the Oakland Raiders at the time were taking Leighton Vander Esch, who would have just been a perfect toy for Gruden to play with. He was originally went 19th to the Cowboys. On draft night, I thought they reached for him. I did not think that he was I thought he was a late first-round talent, if that, and I was completely wrong about him. He is just a man to be reckoned with. He goes around the field like as if he's not as big as he is. He runs so fast. He chases down running backs, quarterbacks. He gets in the backfield so quick, and he looks so big, and that neck roll that he has in the back is just so menacing. It'd be great in some silver and black. So the Raiders are going to be so happy that they get Vander Esch here. Now we go over to 11th overall, and there's a bunch of things I could have done because the Dolphins are such a weird team. But the one thing that the problem is, especially currently, is they have zero run game. Patrick Laird is more of a meme than he is a good running back. They're going to be getting a guy who has just been amazing ever since they gave him the ball. Nick Chubb, he's beaten out Carlos Hyde and Kareem Hunt for the starting job, and he has not looked back. He's been one of the top rushers. I think he would have led the league in rushing if Derrick Henry didn't do it. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that stat. But Nick Chubb has just been a force. He's been one of the best running backs in the NFL this past year. And I think that the Dolphins would fix their run game immediately if Nick Chubb was there. He originally went 35th to the Browns. He's going to be going to Miami. Now we move on to the 12th overall. Josh Allen went to the Jets. Sam Darnold's going to the Bills. It just falls that way. He originally went 3rd overall to the Jets, as we talked about. But Darnold, he's shown flashes of being good, but he's also shown flashes of not being too good. He contracted the kissing disease. He just hasn't shown that big enough step like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson has, but he's shown that he's going to be a good quarterback for the Jets. And especially this last win streak that they just went on, he's shown that he's very competent and he's good in the pocket. He can run the ball if he needs to. He's not the talent that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are at the moment, in my opinion, but Darnold's still a great talent. He's going to be finding himself in the top 12, going 12th overall to the Buffalo Bills. At 13th, the Redskins are clamoring for Denzel Ward to come to them. He originally went 4th overall to the Browns. There's nothing really wrong with Denzel Ward. He was a great corner his rookie year. He had one of the best rookie years as a corner you can have. His second year was plagued with injuries. It kind of slowed him down, and that's kind of where he falls down below all these guys because they've been playing more. But Denzel Ward joining that Redskins secondary would be amazing, especially because then we know this next season they would add Landon Collins to it. That way they don't have to worry about Josh Norman back there. Quinton Dunbar is their number 1 corner, and he's decent, but he's not what a number 1 corner is in the NFL. Denzel Ward could be that for them. They would be so happy getting Denzel Ward here. Now, 14th overall, another guy who fell down a little bit, Roquan Smith, the linebacker from the Bears. He's had a pretty good season. He's been a very solid player for the Bears. I think that it's just he hasn't made that jump that we all thought he would. He hasn't been that impact player that we all thought when he originally went 8th to the Bears. He's been an impact player. Don't get me wrong. He's been great. He's shown the flashes of being great, but he hasn't been what we all envisioned him to be as the consensus best linebacker in that class. 15th overall, Bradley Chubb, one of the biggest drops, goes 10 picks down to the Cardinals, joining Chandler Jones on the other side, and that's going to be a force to reckon with. He had that, I think it was an ACL tear in week 2 this year, or week 1, and he's been out all year, which was a reason he fell down because we didn't get to see that production. He had a very solid rookie year, though, and him joining Chandler Jones would be huge because the Terrell Suggs experience didn't work out for them. They wouldn't have even had to sign Terrell Suggs in this case. They just get Bradley Chubb and have him with Chandler Jones just wreck quarterbacks, as Chandler Jones, the All-Pro, would help Bradley Chubb be as good as Von Miller is making him. At 16th overall, the Ravens, they still need a quarterback. Lamar Jackson's off the board. Sam Darnold, Josh Allen are all off the board now. So Baker Mayfield, the Heisman winner out of Oklahoma, is going to be going to Baltimore to play for the Ravens. He originally went 1st overall to the Browns, as we all know, and his second year has been one of the worst second years ever. Could that be receiver problems? Could that be the offensive line being bad? Could that be the coaching? All these are big questions, but overall, Baker Mayfield did not have a solid season this year. We all thought he was going to be better because of his rookie season was very, very good. He was the runner-up to Rookie of the Year, but the second year has not been good enough for him. But still, he's good enough to be in the first round, and he's going to be the 4th quarterback taken off the board. Baker Mayfield is going to be going to the Ravens at 16. Now at 17th overall, the Chargers need to beef up that offensive line because they still have 2 more years of Phillip Rivers as of 2018. They're going to be taking Will Hernandez, the guard. He's at UTEP. He's went to the Giants in the 2nd round, the 2nd pick of the 2nd round. He's going to make that jump into the 1st round up to 17th overall. The Chargers need some offensive line help. Rivers get pressured a lot. They don't always get protection like they need. Will Hernandez has shown that, especially his rookie year, he's one of the best rookie linemen that we had last year. The Giants also loved him this year. He's shown to be one of the best teammates as well. You know, if anyone gets hit, like quarterback or running back, any of his players gets hit, he's the first one to get in there, get in the guy's face, and protect them. That's something that the Chargers could use, so they're going to be taking Will Hernandez here. Now at 18th overall, I have the Seahawks taking Mark Andrews, the tight end, also out of Oklahoma. Originally went 86 to the Ravens. He's one of the biggest jumps we have in this draft. Might be actually the biggest as well. Mark Andrews has just became one of the best tight ends in the NFL that we have. Reminds me a lot of Kelsey, is that we don't know what makes him so great. It's just he is great. People are going to be saying they do have Will Disley. Yes, Will Disley has been injured for the past 2 years. Also, they get him later on in this draft. I think it's the 5th or the 6th round. So if they could have Mark Andrews and Will Disley, maybe that'll keep Disley on the field more than he is, and that would just be a duo that the Ravens thought they had in Hurst and Andrews. Now at 19th overall, the Cowboys are going to get help in the secondary. Dante Jackson, the corner. Originally went 55th to the Panthers. Has just been one of the best bright spots in that young secondary for the Panthers. I mean, he's been one of the most fun guys to watch. He's undersized. He's about 5'9", but he is so athletic. He makes great plays. He's one of the better corners that we had, especially coming out of this draft. One of the best young corners that we have in the league. He can even make a bigger step at this next year. You know, we don't talk about the Panthers too much because of all that's happening with Cam and everything. We don't focus on how good Dante Jackson is, but the Cowboys would not mind having him in that secondary. Now at 20th overall, I have the Lions keeping Frank Ragnow here. They needed offensive line help, especially in the interior, and Frank Ragnow has proven to be pretty solid for them. Not too bad, not too good. He's just been very, very solid on that offensive line. So I don't see any reason why they would take anyone else. There's no better center to have here. Ragnow is just going to be staying with the Lions. Now move over to the Bengals, and the Bengals are going to be taking Jesse Bates, the safety. They originally took him at 54th, but they need to take him in the first round because he has been one of the best players on their defense. They did not have a good season this year, but his rookie season was so good. He's so good at just attacking at the ball. He makes plays in the pass defense as well. He's just shown to be one of the better young safeties that we have. One of the only bright spots that the Bengals have on their roster, and they can't afford to wait until pick 54 to get him because in this redraft he would not be there. So Jesse Bates is going to them at 21. Now we go over to the 22nd overall, and the Bills need a big receiver and to help out Sam Darnold, and they're going to be taking Cortland Sutton here. Originally went 40th to the Broncos, had one of the best second years that we've ever seen. He showed flashes of being pretty solid his first year, but nothing too special. Once Emmanuel Sanders wasn't on the team, Sutton just completely took over the offense. It wasn't even a competition we need to double team Sutton. Another thing, he's such a good blocker downfield. So Sutton is one of the most fun guys to watch, especially on that young Broncos team. And unfortunately, they're not going to be able to use his talents because the Bills are going to be taking him. Darnold to Sutton would just be an amazing connection for years to come. Now at 23rd overall, the Patriots, one of the two Patriots picks actually, which is very weird to say. We never see that. They're going to be taking Mike McGlinchey, the tackle that originally went 9th to the 49ers. Pretty solid, nothing too special. He's good, but he was not worth the 9th overall pick based on the talent that we had, but he's very solid. The Patriots ended up taking Isaiah Wynn later, but McGlinchey is there on the board now, and they're going to fix that offensive tackle problem right there. They get that full year with McGlinchey instead they miss with Wynn, and even some time that Wynn missed this year. McGlinchey's going to be there for all that. McGlinchey is going to be a solid piece to that. Hopefully help Brady get more than just the last Super Bowl. Hopefully, maybe he would have kept them in this game. So McGlinchey being an impact player on that right side, he's going to be going to the Patriots. Now at pick 24, originally they took DJ Moore, but now they're going to be taking DJ Chark, the receiver from the Jaguars, who originally went 61st. He did not have the most bright rookie seasons that you could have as a receiver, but his second season has just been amazing, especially for fantasy owners that are out there. You know how good Chark has been. He was a top 10 receiver all year. He's 6'4". He's physical. He runs routes well. He's got the speed. I mean, he is one of the better receivers that we have under the age of 24. Very young, very talented, and I think that he's just proven to be one of the better guys. He's going to be the second receiver taken off the board in this first round. Now pick 25. Originally, Rashaan Evans went here, and Rashaan Evans is a very solid linebacker, but I think Fred Warner beats him out just a little bit. It might be a little biased just because of how great the 49ers defense is this year, so he might project a lot better, but Warner has been so solid for this 49ers team. He's been a very good bright spot, a very young bright spot for this 49ers team. He's been a force to be reckoned with in that interior. He's covered well. He hits the hole very well. Originally went 70th to the 49ers. He's going to be jumping up to 25th to the Titans. Now at 26th overall, Derron Payne, the tackle, is going to be going to the Falcons here. Apologies. Originally went to not the Miami Dolphins. He went to the Redskins. I don't know why it says Miami Dolphins there, so that's obviously wrong. But I mean, he's just a force in the middle. He's pretty solid. Once again, nothing too special about him, but he's just very good. He's shown his potential, so he is going to be a lot better on this Falcons defense with Grady Jarrett and Takk McKinley and all the weapons that they have. I think he would just be a big run stuffer and help this Falcons team kind of get out of the rut that they're in. So Derron Payne, who originally went to the Redskins, correction on that, is going to be going to the Falcons. Now at 27th overall, he fell down a couple spots, but that's okay. DJ Moore is going to be joining Michael Thomas on the Saints offense. The Saints really could use some help. I mean, their number 2 receiver besides it's Michael Thomas and Ted Ginn, which you can't have Ted Ginn being your number 2. He's not a receiver that you want in prime time. DJ Moore would be that for you. He's a great route runner. He has great hands. He's shown a lot of flashes of greatness. Hasn't been too consistent. He really hit his strides the second half of the season. DJ Moore did fall down just a couple picks behind Chark and behind Sutton, but DJ Moore is very talented, very, very high potential. I have him going to the Saints here at 27. Now at 28, the Steelers, I flip-flop with this pick so much. There were so many different ways they could go. They could use interior help. They could use edge help. There's different ways. You can maybe get a quarterback here, maybe want a Rosen or something. But eventually, I sat down and okay, who is the best player on the board right now? And that's Kerryon Johnson. The injury this year derailed him a little bit as he wasn't able to really return. But Kerryon Johnson in his first year and this year has just proven to be the best running back on that Lions team. They tried to put Blunt out there. They tried to use Theo Riddick last year. None of them were comparing to Kerryon Johnson. And I know Steelers fans, some of them think, James Conner's a good running back. Personally, I don't think he's a good running back. I think he's more of an Austin Eckler type to where he can get out of the backfield. I think last year was just kind of a adrenaline season because of the Le'Veon Bell holdout. But I think that if you have James Conner and you have Kerryon Johnson there, you don't worry about the Bell holdout. You can just trade Bell. You wouldn't have to hold on to him and just lose that money or lose that time and value you could have got out of him. Kerryon Johnson and James Conner could have been a duo to where it would have been setting the AFC North on fire. Now at 29, the Jaguars have a great defense, but they can always add another edge rusher, and that's what they're doing here on Marcus Davenport. Originally went 14th to the Saints, not as high as what he was, but he has shown to be a very solid player for the Saints. Nothing too flashy, but he's gone out there, he's made solid plays. He's made a bigger, better jump this second year. Apologies for that. He has been a lot better this second year, and he's made more of an impact, and we'll see how he does tomorrow in the game that they have. So I think Marcus Davenport would be huge. He wouldn't be there tomorrow if he was on the Jags, unfortunately, but in this redraft, he is going to be going 29 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now at pick 30, Braden Smith, the offensive lineman from the Colts, is actually going to be jumping up 7 spots here, and he's going to be going to the Minnesota Vikings. They need O-line help, especially 2 years ago. They had no protection for Kirk Cousins. They're going to be getting that in Braden Smith. Has just had some of the best 2 years on that Colts offensive line. A lot of that is because of how good the others are. Braden Smith kind of fiends off of that, but he is just as talented. Don't get me wrong. Unfortunately, he wasn't high enough to be with those other guys. I think he could have jumped. You could swap him and McGlinchey. You could put him a little bit higher, but ultimately, I have him going 30th to the Minnesota Vikings to help protect Kirk Cousins, that $25 million man. Now at pick 31, we've seen the problem that they have. They have no tight end. The Patriots need a tight end. It really hurt them this game. Ben Watson had a crucial couple drops. Dallas Goedert, the tight end coming from the Eagles, jumping up about 18 spots to join the Patriots, and he's going to be their star tight end. We've seen him take a lot of snaps and a lot of catches, a lot of receptions from Zach Ertz in his time in Philadelphia. He's shown the flashes of being good, but Zach Ertz is always going to be that number 1 guy in Philadelphia until he's gone. So Dallas Goedert is going to have his chance to shine right away. With Gronk retiring and the injuries before, Goddard would have his time to shine, and he would run away with it. So the Patriots add another offensive weapon for them. So they get McGlinchey, and now they get Goddard, and the Patriots offense is looking pretty solid to make 2 Super Bowl runs in the next 2 years, as they don't know this yet, but they're about to win a Super Bowl this year in the year 2018, 2019. So Dallas Goedert's joining the Patriots. Now at the last pick of the first round, at pick 32, I have Calvin Ridley falling from 26 to the Eagles. Eagles always need receiver help. Aguilar is just not good enough. They signed Deshaun Jackson, but they probably wouldn't have had to make that move if they had a guy like Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is one of the best number 2s in the NFL. He's just shown so much promise next to Julio Jones, and I think he would do the same thing for Alshon Jeffrey. Wentz would have a lot more success with him. They could use a guy like this. So Calvin Ridley is going to be the last selection of the first round. And with that, that is the 2018 mock draft redraft that I have done here. If you did like it, make sure to leave it a like. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you didn't like it, just refresh the page, go through it again, and tell me how you feel the second time. If you have any ideas of what you want me to do next, if you have any teams that you want to see for a 7-round mock draft, leave it down in the comment section below. Make sure, as always, go check out the past videos as well. And without further ado, that is going to be it for me. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.